this is Coach Giannis from Olympus Pro Performance Coaching. Today's video is going to be the last one from the series with big three movements. We have already made a video for squats and deadlifts, so if you haven't watched that, go back and watch them because I think you're going to find them very, very beneficial. And the links are already down on the description. So today we're going to speak about the bench press and how bench press and its variations can be actually very beneficial and fit on the mountain biking and motocross world. So why bench press is so important, or any variation of bench press is so important basically on motocross and mountain biking. Although, as we already know, the box sports are so dominant into the lower body and the core section. Mainly for injury prevention reasons, we have to have a strong upper body, but at the same time also generally it's good to have a well-conditioned upper body in order to be able to control the bike. So if you think some similarities between the exercise and the actual bike, imagine, like, let's say if you land really hard from a jump or really hard from a big drop, and the way basically you're landing, you'll be more forward on the bars. The only way really to be able to save yourself from going over the bars or having a face plant straight on the bars is basically having really strong upper body, not just the arms really, but generally the chest, the core, generally your trunk really. And that happens only if you're well conditioned, and that's why it's so important. And a lot of people either neglect it or they're overdoing it by trying to make a big chest. Remember, we train for the sport, not for the exercise. It's not about looking just good, it's about being able to be effective on the bike, mainly in order to not basically crash, or even if you crash, be able to save yourself from breaking bones. So here is a clip basically of one of my riders saving himself from crashing and probably going even down the cliff. And that's because he's obviously very experienced and he's really skillful, but at the same time that's by be able to push the bars down the floor a bit more, and the way that the bike actually drifts, he managed to save himself from either going over the bars or washing the front wheel or actually going down the hill. So before we move into the bench press with the barbell, first of all, I'm going to show you the progressions basically with the body weight. So the easiest way to do basically on the body weight is do a press up. Now, if you're not experienced in the press up, or if your upper body strength is not enough basically yet, the easiest way to start is using either a bench, or you can use a chair, or you can use basically a surface that's quite low, but again in an inclined position, so you can make it quite easy for yourself to be able to progress. So the easiest way to do it is basically just place your hands on the bench, have a nice upright position, make sure your bum is not too high or you're arching, okay? Hands about shoulder width or slightly wider than the shoulder width. Then from there, go down, drive up, okay? And make sure you engage actually with your abs as you do it. So this is the one way. Then, if you're good enough and you want to progress more, the next step after that is be able to do a press up on the floor, and you can do it through with the knees basically on the floor. How do we do that? Simply put your knees down. Again, place your hands down on the floor, either shoulder width or slightly wider than shoulder width, and then from there drop the hips, so again you're nice and straight, and then from there go down, drive up. Make sure your abs are engaged so you can have a nice flat back. Yeah, that's it. Avoid your head to be up, nice and straight. And then the last one after that is actually do exactly the same, but now we'll have the full press up. With the full press up, feet together or slightly wide, doesn't matter really. Your hands again, shoulder width or slightly wider than shoulder width. Then from there, go down, drive up. Avoid hydrates in the shoulders, make sure it's nice and neutral. And that's it. So that's a press up and variation. Then if we want to increase the resistance, we want to basically go harder, we can actually do it with having actually the feet slightly higher and your hands lower. So basically we're in decline position. If you're in decline position, then you put in more body weight into your upper body. By putting more body weight in your upper body, you make it harder, increase the resistance, you're getting stronger. And that's another progression. Okay, I'm just going to show you briefly how to do that, but then I'm going to move the barbell line. So if you go in decline, place your legs basically in a higher surface. Again, hands shoulder width or slightly wider than the shoulder width. Chest out, make sure you're not arching your back or your bum is higher. Nice and straight. Go down, drive up. Yeah, that's it. So now I'm going to show you how to do a barbell bench press. Excuse me. So on the barbell bench press, you want to place yourself in the position that you have a good support from your back. Why? Because when you start lifting, you want to have a nice counter action from the bench, and that will give you the support that you need to. A common mistake that we're doing when we bench press is, as soon as we lift the bar, a lot of people will hyperextend and they will just use the shoulders. Now if you do that, over time you might develop pain on your traps, neck, back, and that's because you're putting unnecessary stress basically on your shoulders, especially on the back side of the shoulders. So what you really want to do is make sure that you have a nice neutral, basically neutral position of the shoulders, and that will give you the extra support alongside with your back from the bench. Okay, so let's go now and do the bench press, and I will explain a little more about it. So we're lying down, as I said. Make sure that you have a nice good support from the back. It's fine if you have a little gap on your lower back. Then the way I do it, because I like basically know that I have a good support, a good balance on the bar, I use my thumbs and to measure exactly where I place my hands. So I use from the beginning of the grip on the bar, grab it, lift. Make sure you have a nice neutral shoulders, so they're not there, as we said. Breathing, without. What make sure is the bar is exactly above the middle of your sternum. Another common mistake is when people using too much the wrist. And how do they do that? They just flex the wrist there. If you do that, putting unnecessary stress basically on your wrist, then you have a wrist pain basically. So what you're going to do, make sure you have a nice neutral position, straight wrist, yeah, and do it. As you finish, finish. That's it. Now another variation of the bench press is the dumbbell bench press. Okay, it's a bit more advanced. The reason it's more advanced is because you don't have the fixed bar that basically you're using with your both arms. By using the dumbbells, you can be a bit more off balance in a way, if that makes sense, and that's why it makes it more advanced. Plus, you can actually start feeling the weight a bit more heavier, and that's because you not only strengthen the actual muscles by using free weights like the dumbbells, you start actually strengthening more your actual joints. So in that case, you actually start strengthening the shoulder joints as well. And that's because when you're in this position, obviously lying down position, you might feel, if you've never done before, you might start feeling a bit off balance, as I said, the joint. But that's getting better with the time, because the actual joints start getting more experienced, they get a bit stronger, so the actual tendons get a bit stronger through the muscles. And because of that, you have a bit more stability in the shoulder, and that helps you down the line to have more stable joints while you're riding your bike. Hence, that's how you can have a better injury prevention. Not always will save you, but definitely can reduce the risk, if that makes sense. So when we're doing the dumbbell bench press, it depends how heavy obviously the dumbbells are. We actually can kind of kick a bit with the knees to lift the dumbbells, then slowly going down, lying at the bench. And then from there, again, like on the barbell bench press, you want to have a nice good support on your upper back. Don't worry about the gap on your lower back. Then from there, you go on a nice stretch. And then it depends what grip you're gonna use. You can use either neutral grip or open supine grip, as we say. In our case, we're gonna use a supine grip because we want a bit more specific to the way we hold the bars. You're not gonna hold the bars that way, obviously. And then from there, breathe in, breathe out, bring the dumbbells above the chest, breathe in, breathe out. Again, make sure you don't hyperextend your shoulders. Your shoulders have to be nice and neutral. As we're doing it, we make sure we actually engage the chest, so we flex the chest like we're expecting a punch on it when we perform the exercise. Once you finish, stop there, bring the dumbbells close to you, and drop them down. Just make sure you're not going to bang your fingers. And that's the dumbbell bench. Now the last variation I'm going to show you is going to be with a single arm dumbbell bench press. And that's going to be more advanced. Again, everything has its time and its place. So I use this one with my athletes at some point on their program, because you need to be able to have more stability on the one side. Obviously you're going to do both sides, but as I say, like single arm. And that's because sometimes you need to apply more resistance, more pressure, more stress when you're on your bike, either just to push the bike to one side, or if you actually crash, to be able to absorb the impact a bit better, rather just actually, break your collarbone or dislocate your shoulder. And that's through single arm bench press. That's one of the exercises anyway we're going to do now. And the way you're doing it, again, lying down, and then from there, make sure you have a nice again stability in your back, and then open from there. Breathe in, the other arm is out for a bit more stability. Engage your abs, and then perform the same way that we did before, dumbbell bench press. Now the heavier the exercise becomes, the more weight you add, obviously, the more you will struggle, the more you will challenge the one side, and that's what you want really. But make sure you're doing it in a safe, secure manner. Once you finish, stop it, turn around, drop it down, and that's it. So that's it really. That was the end of the series. So today we showed a couple of different variations of the bench press, plus the bench press itself. As I said in the previous videos, if you just do the exercises for the sake of it without knowing exactly why you're doing it and where they fit in your program, you're just going to become better on the exercise. You're going to become stronger doing that exercise, but it won't have any direct effect on your actual bike performance. So that's why make sure that you know when you do it, everything has its time and its place. Obviously not every exercise is for everybody, and we only cover a few of the variations. There are so many different variations on the bench press. We're just going to take us probably nearly 40 minutes to show you everything, but I want to keep it nice and short. Now, if you have any questions of how to do any of the exercises, or if you're not sure about something, please feel free and email me or let some comments down below, and I will obviously get in touch with you as soon as possible. Feel free to visit our website to see some interesting articles that we have. I'm pretty sure you will find a lot of different beneficial stuff there. Don't forget to follow us obviously on Instagram, Facebook. Press the subscribe button on YouTube to follow us in order to see more interesting and good videos that can actually be quite beneficial on your performance. And yeah, until next time, cheers.